Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. Today I have the beautiful Parul as a guest. So what are you doing and what are you helping women with, Parul?
Thank you so much for having me. I love the conversation that we're going to have. But before that, I'm a money manifestation coach. I help hardworking, ambitious women to rise above from an ordinary life when it comes to money and step into abundance, step into all their desires when it comes to money and the way money gets to support them in their lives.
Amazing. So you can kind of see our topic today will be money. And I'm so honored that Parul asked me about my own money level up story. And we want to share this with you guys too.
Absolutely. Like, I know you're a successful dating and relationship coach, Ellie, but tell me, what was it about money? Like, what were the challenges you faced? How did you manage to turn it around? Because, having known you for a while now, I know that it wasn't an easy turnaround for you. So, very curious to know about that.
That's true. So I actually had a really, really hard time with money. Most of my life, until I started doing the inner work, I was living in survival. I felt, whenever I went to the store, I felt like such a weird lack feeling to buy myself. I never wanted to buy myself anything. And we both had this conversation lately, right? Where I was at the store and I was like, yeah, I can buy myself everything I want now, but it wasn't like that before. And the beliefs and the condition and the reality around money was just lack, not enough, like even debt. And I thought there is not enough money. And the men around me would reflect that. I was dating men who didn't have a job, were so broke and poor, didn't support me. Like I was literally so unsupported with money, with masculine energy, and attracting, very, very low income men. So, yeah, like I came a long, long way, and it was like my biggest anxiety around money, always afraid that there was not enough money.
And what would you say was the starting point? Like now that you've done the inner work and you can look back and see the picture clearly, I suppose, where did you feel it all started?
You mean my change or where my conditioning started?
Conditioning.
So, of
And
course,
then we'll get to the change.
the conditioning started, of course, in early childhood. Yeah, I come from a family where there was just never enough money, poverty, and I work since very young age to support myself and even my family. And I really much early on started to know that I'm by myself and I have to really work hard for money, and there's just not enough. And so the conditioning started really, really early on. I just remember my parents, my caretaker, just always being in pain because there was not enough money, at least in their reality.
Mhm. And how young were you when you started working?
Like 12.
Wow, very early.
Actually, even earlier, because I mean, that's not called work, but I was taking care of younger siblings and cousins while, the adults would work. So it's not the proper work, but it was still work. As the oldest, I had to take care of all the children so that the adults could go to work, right? In the
Mhm.
household and stuff. So, yeah, all of that I have now, like my abundant business, attracting millionaires, abundance, wealth, being able to hire the best coaches, comes from the money mindset transformation. It doesn't come from, I'm just lucky or something.
So when did the change begin for you? When did the transformation begin?
All of my transformation began when I had a burnout. When I got sick, I had autoimmune symptoms. It was 7 years ago, actually, not so long ago. And I couldn't rely anymore on my masculine action. Like taking action, going to school, going to work, I felt like I no longer can do this. I didn't have the energy. I had autoimmune flare-ups and I got burnt out, overwhelmed with all of that. And this is how I started to look for answers. First 2 year, like two years, I was like just looking for answers, like in my diet, God, what do I change? I just wanted to change something. So I was trying to change everything, like my diet and then my lifestyle. And then I realized, hey, I have to work on my mindset, on the anxiety that I have around money, around relationships, because my relations have not been healthy either. And you, at least my followers, know that. So I slowly work on all parts of my life and lifestyle, relationships, and also money, and my biggest goal was to get healthy and was to get back on my own 2 feet because I was unfortunately on rock bottom. And the thing was, like, I kind of got used to always being broke and survival. I kind of got used to always feeling like bad, being criticized, being in toxic relationships where I'm like spoken down to. It was so weird that I got used to that, or I numbed myself to a point. But when I got sick, and I literally couldn't eat anything. My joints were hurting. I couldn't numb that. I was like, okay, I have to change something. I can't keep going. So this is where I really had a close look. Okay, what do I change in my life? And once I started changing one thing and I leveled up from having zero on my bank account to being able to manifest the first money, I had coaches who helped me in the beginning too, and I leveled up a little bit, and then I was like, okay, maybe I can change something else. Maybe I can change something else. And from that point, I'm always growing, always leveling up in all areas of life. But yes, money was was one big part of that, because the truth was, if a woman or anyone that feels lack around money, what does it put us in? Survival. Survival is anxiety, and we can't be relaxed and healthy and not even our feminine energy when we are in survival around money. So the money relationship has to be cleaned up, has to be cleaned up so that so that I could tap into my feminine energy of relax, so that my body could rest and not be in survival all the time of fight, flight, freeze, walking, hustling, borrowing, so that I could rest and heal. And yeah, so it all kind of goes together. But basically, the start came from my rock bottom moment that my sickness caused.
Okay, I love what you mentioned about money, that, when money can provide for you, being the masculine is when you can relax in your feminine and not be in anxiety and actually enjoy things. So when you hit your rock bottom, how did you even get the money to be able to get coaching? Like, how did you work your way up? Because from what you told me, you were physically sick, you did not have money, you were probably working very hard to make ends meet,
I was not working
and
anymore.
then you realized you weren't working at all. Okay, amazing. So the transformation gets to be even better. So how did you afford coaching? Because a lot of people have this question, oh, but what if I don't have the money? So what was your story there?
I just realized that I have to change my life and I can't keep going one more day like that. And I don't want to. And I just reached out to a coach and was like, I really want to work with you. I want to change my life. It was a dating coach back then, though. It wasn't even a money coach because I had issues with relationships and with my emotions. And I said, I want to work with you, but I really don't have the money. I had like $250 on my bank. And at this time, I wasn't working. I moved back to family. So because I just couldn't, I was so fatigued. Um, I couldn't work and I had anxiety, all of that. So I moved with family. I didn't really have many costs, but I also didn't have any money. And I said, I want to work with you. And she was like, okay, then, just pay me the 250 and then we get started. And I was like, how I can't do this. Okay, I don't have to pay rent, but I still have to pay for my food, right? Like I have to pay other stuff. Like I can't do the 250. And she was like, well, the 250 will go away anyway. So, you can manifest new money. I'm like, how can I manifest new money? I can't even work. I can't even do my laundry. Like, I'm so sick and tired. I don't know how this is gonna work. But she was like, yeah, I can see you manifesting money. She is, by the way, at this today, a money manifestation coach too. But back then she was a dating coach. She was like, I see you being able to manifest the money, and you said you want to change something, so do it. So I was so afraid, but I did pay her the 250. And the fun part was, same week, I manifested $750 in cash and a $500 trip. Same week. This
Wow.
was the first time. The reason, like, I just sold old stuff from our house, and then the guy that I was talking to, he never wanted to provide even a $2 water bottle. But then suddenly, because I decided I deserve to be supported with money, it came through different sources. It also came through him, and suddenly he wanted to provide for the trip, and I'm like, wow, it's just a decision. It can be so fast. Our mindset is so powerful. And, my coach back then helped me to change the mindset from there is no money to you get to have the money. Even if you're not working, you got to have the money. It's just like you are looking for red into the picture and you see red, right? But when she's like, hey, stop it, look for green stuff. And I was like, okay, green, 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 there, there, I find it. So I found the money. And it came through different sources. It came even through the guy that didn't want to provide. And suddenly he was paying for everything. We went out, he paid for the trip. And I was just so mind blown that only when I changed what I look for, and I was looking for red. I changed to green, and suddenly I saw the money.
Because money is truly everywhere. It's about, getting into that frequency, getting into that vibration where we're like, okay, I know it sounds difficult right now, but it is available to me. And what are the ways in which it can be available for me? And for you, it's amazing how you had those things that you could sell off. And you had them earlier, but you didn't have the awareness that, oh, this is one way in which I can call in money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Yeah, amazing. Um, so what is your life like today when it comes to money? What is your reality right now?
Right now, money comes to me effortlessly, in pleasure, and in overflow. So right now, I earn more money than I need, and but this already happened before even I had my business. I did the money transformation even before I had my business. So it's not really even related to it. I see it this way. Money comes to you in the most effortless path, whatever that is for you. It's the guy, it's the provider, it's your business or your job. But once I changed my mindset, money just was there to support me. And I can tell you a million of stories how it came, right? Maybe through unconventional ways or conventional. But right now, my relationship with money is like there is more than enough, there's abundance, and I get to have more than I need. And I just feel so safe and supported. And it's not because the money is there, it's because I changed my mindset, my bank account changed, right? So many people and women think, oh, only when I have the money in my bank account, I will feel safe. You get to feel safe and you get to change your mindset, and then your bank account and your income changes.
Yeah, and I feel, all these feelings of safety and certainty, it's an inside job, and no doubt money amplifies it. But just like you said, when you became an embodiment of what possibilities are there for me to call in money, and instantly, your boyfriend responded to that and started providing for you, the
Yeah,
very same person who wasn't doing it earlier, because there's something in you that had changed.
absolutely. The same person who didn't want to provide suddenly did it. And that's what I also have many times with my one-on-one clients, that they come to me, the man doesn't want to provide, And then, we change a little bit the mindset, and the same person suddenly starts to provide, suddenly starts to support them because they decided they get to be supported. They get to be supported in a feminine way. So you see, what I had to change the belief that I get to be supported even without working, because I was working since I was 12, and then I had this belief that I have to work hard, I have to struggle, and somehow I did earn money before. I mean, I was just working a lot, right? Like having going to school, after school working. So I knew I can make the money, but I was only relying on my masculine action taking, having some jobs, babysitting jobs, jobs at some restaurants and stuff like that. And then once, because I got so sick, I couldn't rely anymore on my masculine side. So I literally had to embody that I get to receive the money even without working, just for being my feminine energy. And that was just so new for me, especially, growing up in Germany and also being in the US a little bit. Women just need to be expected to be self-sufficient, right? Self-sufficient, like I can do it myself, I can work, and of course it is an option, but this health breakdown showed me that there is another way. And since I realized there's another way, I get to have money for being myself, living my life, like doing whatever feels good to me. Again, right now, of course, I have my business that supports me too, but I already had this reality before I had my business. And once I realized this is an option, I don't even want to go back. Like, I don't want to go back into hustling, working hard, working in painful things. I kept it this way, and it feels so much better to me to just be myself, relaxed, being in pleasure, and just receive the money. And I could never in my life imagine that that was possible before because of the conditioning, but it is possible. And this is a shift that women need to do too when they want to be provided for by an affluent man and millionaire. They need to learn to receive support and money for being, to receive support and money for just enjoying the life, drinking tea, not doing anything. And this is sometimes really hard for them. It's like, what? I get to get money for doing nothing? Like they can't compensate it. And I again, like when I started out, I didn't really have an option because I didn't have an energy. But at some point, I decided, you know what? I'm healthy again. By the way, I got healthy, I got energetic, could work again. But I decided I am healthy again. But I still want to be provided for and supported with money. It just gets to be like that because, yeah, why not? He's good.
And it's amazing how our rock bottom points in life are also those moments when our biggest breakthroughs happen. If we are open to that possibility, and it's so amazing that you took that opportunity and changed things for you. And you allowed the universe to support you in ways that it did. And does work feel like work for you in the typical sense today?
No, like it doesn't. I don't know what work is. Like I don't. I just do whatever my heart tells me to do, what I feel like doing, and I even surrender where the money comes from. Is it coming from my business? Is it coming from the man I'm with? Is it coming from a different source? I know it's coming because I have a relationship with money that supports me, that loves me, that I get to be taken care of. And again, I had it before I had my business. And yeah, and that's all it is. And of course, I do my passionate, purposeful business of supporting women in relationships, finding the millionaire's proposal. That just was really, really fun for me. But no, at this point, work doesn't feel like work. I just have fun, and I get to have money. And one thing I wanted to add here, oftentimes the breakdown moments give us the biggest transformation because we can't look away anymore. As I shared, are probably my emotional and um, financial state. I kind of like numbed it, so I didn't feel any feelings, but I could numb the physical pain, like the health issues. That's why people transform because they can't numb it anymore. They can't ignore it anymore. And then like, okay, it's like so stinky, I have to clean it up now. The truth is you get to have a transformation before that, and I don't allow myself anymore, never again, to have a rock bottom moment, and I don't want this for anyone either. You get to look now in your life, what is there? Is there something that needs to be cleaned up, that needs to be leveled up, that needs to be exchanged? Like it's like having a trash and you don't wanna throw it away until it's like so bad. You get to look now. It's just a decision. Yeah, when people get aware what's the problem, what they want to level up in their life, and they decide they're gonna do it and eventually get the help, they can level up and break through really fast. Like I do that all the time. It's just a point of not ignoring what is in front of you because people are so good and like, yeah, I don't have any issues. I'm so good.
I totally agree. I mean, I was in a similar space. I had my own health crisis. I was in a job, I was traveling a lot, I was studying, I was doing like 10,000 different things at one time because that's how I was just, conditioned. And then I had my health crisis, and that's the time when I decided to become a health coach. Very ironic. And I got all that baggage to my health coaching business. And then there came a point where I was like, wait, wasn't this something I was doing for fun? Isn't this supposed to be something that I love? But the point was that, I was on the same operating system where I never felt enough. So the doing was my way of feeling enough. It was also my way of numbing out areas of my life, especially, my love life, which was non-existent at that point. Because I used to come back to an empty house and I wanted to have like a loving hug, a conversation, somebody to be there for me. And none of it was there. And I was like, I really, really want it, but since it doesn't seem to be working, let me just numb myself out with more work. And it didn't work. And that's what led me to my inner work. But I know now I've built myself up to a level where I'm not going to go there. I mean, even if no money is coming, I will not go there. I mean, of course, I know money is flowing to me irrespective from many, many sources. But just like you said, you don't have to hit rock bottom if you learn your lessons and if you see the signs right away instead of numbing yourself with something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I loved your money story because, I feel like anybody who's going to listen to this now can't give any excuses to call in more money. Like you've gone from one extreme to another extreme, from poverty and survival to thriving. I mean, God bless you. More should come your way, more will come your way. But, where you're working, I know we have these conversations where you're like, I don't work all day. I just put in a few hours every day and it's so much fun and money is just flowing in. And I'm like, wow, this is what it feels like.
Yeah, this is the life that every woman gets to have. And would you like to know why is it important to have an up-leveled money mindset to attract a millionaire's proposal?
Absolutely. I would love to.
So it's so important. It is so important because when you have a scarcity mindset, a mindset there is not enough money, you will attract, men who have the same mindset, right? Like people like to be with like-minded people. And it's not even about you actually having the money on your bank account. It's about having the abundant mindset of feeling like I get to be supported, I get to have what I want when I walk into a store, I get to receive that. So it's not about like you having a lot of money on your bank account that's most important, but it's about you doing the inner work and having the abundant mindset so that you are a match for a millionaire, a masculine millionaire who wants to provide for you, who wants to support you. So money mindset needed to be needs to be healed And that's also one reason why I was able to attract millionaires from attracting broke guys, because I leveled up my money mindset. And I even remember the first millionaires that I was dating. Um, I remember they were like, you know why I like you? It's funny now though. They said, "Oh," he said like, "Oh, because you're not materialistic." And I'm like, "How come that you say I'm not materialistic? I mean, I ask you for money. I ask you to pay this. I say I like money. I say I want more money. And you say I'm not materialistic." And he said, "Well, it's because you treat me like a normal human, you know? You're like, yeah, you're normal, and this is just normal. It's just something I'm so used to, like, you know, Porsche, sports cars, like going to fancy dinners, just, you know, a lot of money and freedom. You just are so comfortable." So I'm like, "Oh, so you mean that? You mean I'm a match for you? Because it's normal, right? I'm comfortable. It's so normal to be around abundance and affluence. So this is what you mean." He's like, "Yes, it's comfortable for you. You see me as a normal person. You see me as someone who is just like at your level, and you just can enjoy what I give to you." So you see, even the guy said that most women, they are not comfortable with the level of abundance. This is just too much for them. It's like the universe can't give you what you are not a match of. If you have a tiny basket of survival, you would only attract broke men like I did. And if you have a bigger one and you're like, yeah, this is so normal, so comfortable, after doing the inner work with the fastest way is with a money mentor, right? Um, then you just get to attract abundant men, and any other guy just doesn't feel aligned because you're so free and abundant yourself. If a man comes along and tells you, "Oh, we can't do this trip because it's too expensive," you'll be like, "Well, I can do this trip myself without you. It's not too expensive for me, so why am I dating you again?" I mean, it's a harsh truth, but yeah, it's just what it is. You get to be a match for abundance, and millionaires are just coming. Like, they're just gonna be coming.
Absolutely. And being comfortable in receiving, that's such a big part of attracting abundance. And I was teaching this in a mini course that I hosted recently. And how that manifests is that the perfect opportunities come to you, but because you can't think beyond survival, you're not in the mode to receive. And that's what I was hearing from a previous client of mine, a man who was earning a lot of money in his business, but was not able to enjoy it. And that is where his work was, because he's like, I have the money, but I'm not experiencing it. And that's what wealth consciousness is about. How can you experience it? Uh, I mean, there are a lot of people with money who live, unfortunately, very poor lives, if I can say that, because they don't experience the joy of receiving or the joy of making life comfortable and easy. So, yeah, you have something to say.
And I love that you bring this up, because this is like, for this guy, he has to cultivate a little bit of his feminine energy to be able to enjoy it. But this is just such a perfect example. Like, so many affluent men, they get this abundance, they have this wealth, and they need you, a feminine woman, who can receive it, who can enjoy it. It's like their pleasure. You know, they have this money, like, let's say they have this million income per year. Yeah. They're like, okay, okay, I have it. And now they can't enjoy it. So they either need to cultivate their own feminine side, or they go out with a feminine woman and provide for her. Like, right? She just like is able to receive it, enjoy it, and her smile, her joy is his joy, right? So it's not like a selfish thing to receive from men. It's actually selfish from them to give to the woman, because this is their pleasure. And actually, it's a win-win. Let's go away from selfishness. It's a win-win scenario. And it's just so beautiful, because women oftentimes love to receive and get gifts and enjoy this. And a man needs your pleasure, needs to give and enjoy whatever he has built, right?
I suppose men access the feminine through that giving, because masculine men, the one that you're talking about, who's providing, is not so much in his feminine, and then a feminine woman sort of completes that for him, gives him access to that part that he can't access on his own within himself.
Absolutely. Men access love and pleasure through giving to a feminine woman. Through, men access love and pleasure through giving to a feminine woman, and women who are mostly feminine energy access love and pleasure through receiving from the masculine. And this is such a beautiful win-win. And for example, in my business, I give a lot too. I give, like, here, free advice. I support women. So I am in my masculine energy sometimes too. And yet I access pleasure and love by helping. So it's always just a push and pull, a perfect match together. And there's nothing right or wrong. You can be the one who gives, you can be the one who receives. But at the end of the day, all of that is love and pleasure. And this is what we all want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that, you are also in your masculine, like right now when we're giving away value to people for free. But, I feel the seed of it is in our feminine fun and joy. Like how we were having a conversation and you're like, do you want to go live? Do you want to do this? And we're like, yeah, why not? So, it's our feminine core that is at the root of the action that we're taking, which is very different from action that is taken for the sake of doing more so that we get a particular outcome, which is a more masculine way of of I mean, I can't call it creation, but masculine way of functioning in general.
That's true. That's true. So it's a different way of living life and different way of running business, right? So we kind of like run our businesses very intuitive, very feminine, and we know the clients, the money, they just come. Yeah, it's like we are just more magnetic. So also doing that in our business, and yeah, so it's a beautiful mixture. We need our feminine pleasure energy and taking a little bit of action too.
Absolutely. Amazing. I absolutely love this talk.
Yeah, thank you so much for this amazing talk. Do you have any other questions or anything you want to share with the community?
Um, what comes to me is, from all our conversation is that having or not having money in your life as a way of experiencing abundance is a choice. I mean, Elizabeth is a brilliant example of that. She made a decision to change her life, and the day she spoke to her mentor is the day she changed her life, or very soon, right?
Absolutely. Like I keep changing every day, leveling up every day. It's just a decision. So everyone who wants to learn more about money mindset and who wants to listen to more content about money mindset, you need to follow Parul. She has a podcast and also a YouTube channel. Where can they find you? I will also link that in the description box.
Amazing. So I'm on Instagram with the handle pursuit of peace underscore Parul. My podcast, which is available on Spotify and iTunes, it's called Pursuit of Peace with Parul. I am also on YouTube. She's going to link the channel in the description, but that's also called Pursuit of Peace with Parul. The only difference on Instagram is Pursuit of Peace underscore Parul. The rest is, Pursuit of Peace with Parul.
Amazing.
So yeah, you can find me. And if you're looking to up level your life, because this information, when put into action, has changed my life around money, around calling in abundance, and it just seems to flow. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Amazing. Thanks for sharing. And again, anybody who feels like you want to learn more about money mindset and get into abundance, which later, of course, leads into abundance and attracting a millionaire's proposal. So it all goes together. You need to follow Parul and learn about money mindset. Since I don't talk very often about money on this channel, it's more about relationships. So for money mindset, follow Parul. And thank you so much for being here, my dear. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And yeah, it was amazing to talk to
Thank
you.
you so much for having me here. I'm so grateful and so honored.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.